I decided to go through a rebrand of A1 Garage Door Service. And since then, I used him for Don's. We've used him for Garage Door Doctor. I made a lot of mistakes early on, and I wish I could go back in time. I mean, people say, what would you do if you started over again? Brand, trademark, copyright, disruption. It's hard to recreate what you guys do, just your process, just your care, just your passion. And it shows in everything you guys do. You want it perfect. You want it to shine. You don't want second best. You will not tolerate anything but the best. And it shows. Don't go to Dan unless you want the best. Don't go to Dan unless you want a pro. Don't go to Dan unless you really want to stand out. Because if you're looking for something that turn around in 2 weeks and we don't really care about this, that, and the other, he's not the right guy. But if you want something that's going to last decades, that's going to be driven into that community, that's going to make your marketing costs go down, your recruiting go up, the culture blowing up in your company, and just to see what goes on, how much process and time, and looking at all the competition and understanding the core values and the mission and vision. And it's just so dynamic and crazy, everything that goes into it. And when I wrapped the building, oh my gosh, such a huge difference. I really am looking back at, and I'm so glad I hired you for so many things that I did, the Valpak, the yard sites. And I made a mistake, and I'm admitting here I was wrong, because every time Dan would even look at a Valpak. I don't know how he got access to some of the stuff that he sent me pictures of, and he'd go, let me redo it. I'm not going to charge you a ton of money. It literally drove home hundreds of thousands of dollars by redoing my Valpak. I've always told people to raise your prices, but don't raise your price without raising your level of service and your brand. When we pull up to a house, people are not like, I bet you they're the cheap guys. We don't say discount garage on there. We get out of the car, we look professional, we have a smile, we build an experience. And part of that experience is the brand. I watch people and they go, I found it for cheaper. And I look at it and I go, oh my gosh, what do you really see when you look at that? Like, is that something where you're like, wow, I could recognize a Dan Antonelli brand or a Kickcharge brand from a mile away? After the first outcome of spending the money on the brand, I was happy to pay you to do the Valpak, the stickers, the billboards, the website. When that brand hits, if you get the right PR behind it, but the employees, the culture becomes the PR. The community becomes the PR. It kind of self-perpetuates itself. Here's what's crazy for me, is when we did the rebrand, I thought we were so involved in the community. We did all these events. We did all this stuff. Well, what I found was the neighbors started grabbing the guys out of the garage. And now it's not uncommon for a couple dozen a day where our truck will be there and the people will come out and say, I trust you guys. Come over here and look at mine. And that alone paid for it. And I think it's the best investment we've ever did. And I don't know what to tell the people other than you need to start budgeting for it today. If you guys want really, really impressive work, call Dan. Any company that we get, we're going to be using Dan Antonelli and Kickcharge. I mean, that's just what we believe in.